Okay, so it's been another week. Where am I this week? Well, it is September 18th, 2017, and I'm doing okay this week. On Monday, we saw a little bit of Hurricane Irma, even all the way up here in Concord, which is near Charlotte. And maybe it was only a tropical storm by the time it got to us, but it really seems to have torn up Florida and maybe parts of Georgia. That's the big thing that wasn't directly affecting me, but I did see a little bit of it. I've mostly been working on homework. I've had homework that I've been working on. I had an assignment that I quite literally just finished a few minutes ago. It's now 2:12 in the morning on Monday when it is due, but I got it done-ish, mostly. Anyway, there might have been one thing. I'm not completely sure whether I did it or not. So we'll just see whether the solution curves also count as phase diagrams. I don't think they do, but I don't know. Anyway, I did stuff. And so that homework, I've been working on it all week, especially since Friday. On Friday, there was a career fair on campus that I went to. I know I'm leaving this current job, so it seemed a little bit rude to go to a career fair when I'm quite literally just leaving a position, but I'm mostly looking for internships and that sort of thing, and that's what a career fair on a college campus is really good for, is finding people who are trying to hire students. So that's where I went on Friday, and it started at 10 a.m., so I thought I was going to be able to go in for work. But as I was going through the fair, I realized it was actually big enough that I would probably be able to stay the whole 4 hours. It was from 10 to 2, and I stayed nearly the whole 4 hours, but that meant I ended up calling out from work. But I had to call out from work on Wednesday so I could work on some homework. I spent 15 hours on that assignment, and then I had to call out on... I knew I was going to have to call out at least one day out of the weekend, so I called out on Friday thinking I'll go ahead and I'll do the career fair thing, and I'll get my homework done, and then I'll go in for work on Saturday and Sunday. It didn't work out, because on Friday I was working on the homework and I got not so much of it done. So it took me like the whole weekend. I had to put 2 or 3 hours into a MATLAB onboarding certification that they had. I got a free certificate out of it, but it took a long time, and I spent a lot of money on food. I can't keep eating like that. That's too much for my budget. Oh, I'm so fed up with Outback Steakhouse at this point. They have one cook who does an outstanding job and always gets the steak perfect exactly right. And they have the other cook who can't cook anything. He's sent out raw meat to me before, and I'm just like, why? Why are you even here? So, yeah, at this point, I know there's screw-ups. I can't keep eating there and keep complaining about it, because I know what they're like at this point. When it was good, it was a fluke. So I'm just going to have to find somewhere else to get my big important steak dinners when I really need something to pick me up and give me that power to get through my homework. I've been making an impression in some of my classes too. One of my professors early in the semester he put an equation on the board, and he was saying, in this equation, it's right. It's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with it. And he kept taunting us until I finally burst out and I said, no, one of the quantities is a vector and the other is a scalar. So they can't possibly be equal because they're not the same kind of numbers. And he said, and what is your name? So he seems to know who I am now. Everyone else seems to think I know what's going on in there, which is a little bit scary, but I have some idea, but I feel like I'm behind. Then I have another class where it's the one I was just working on homework for. There's a whole lot of MATLAB programming and homework, and everything else, and the professor made an offhand comment. He said, "I don't remember if the homework was due today or if it was due Wednesday." And I said, "It's due Wednesday!" And they thought that was the funniest thing that they had heard in a very long time. They spent 2 or 3 minutes laughing at me. But I guess it is a little bit funny. Anyway, the last professor I've not made an impression on, but I think he works with windmills, and with my project being the way it is, that's kind of one of the big things that I'm trying to do, so I really need to make a connection with him if he'll ever stay in town long enough to do so. But maybe it's for the best. This coming week, my aunt did pass away, so I'm making a trip to visit with my mother and also take care of some business, and on my way back home, I'm probably going to go to the pre-release this Saturday, because why not? So I have a busy week coming up, but I also have a 7-page homework assignment with that professor I would really like to impress. So we're going to have to work on that and make sure it turns out well. But life is very busy, and my job now is expiring. Yes, I called out Wednesday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday. If I hadn't put in my notice, I'm pretty sure I would be getting fired. So at this point, I've done everything I can, and I have to do my schoolwork. That's just how life is. I stayed as long as I could.